All right, we are live. Cool, cool, cool. All right, we are live, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. While we start, so we want everyone to like the video, share the video. I'm gonna sing next to my piano. Any one of you could sing?
Nope.
Wait 1 second. How come? 1 second. Where did? Okay, there you go. At the stream.
Okay.
I tell you, everybody. All right, we're on live. Good to see you, Nat. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Pam, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm not hearing you, Pamela.
She said good morning.
I did. I said good morning. You can't hear me?
I'm not hearing you. You could hear her?
Yeah, she said good morning. She said good morning.
Say good morning again. Let me hear you. Let me test your mic, Pam.
Good morning.
You hearing me?
I'm hearing you. Pam, I'm not hearing you.
Log out and come back in. Her mic is on mute.
Oh, hold on.
It looks so.
Yeah.
She got to unmute her mic?
1 second. 1 second, Nat. Pam, could you unmute your mic?
You can hear me now?
And turn up your volume.
Turn up my volume?
Turn it down.
1 second, Nat. Hold on.
Down. Yes. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Hold on, everybody. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. I am not hearing Pam in my system. I don't know why.
Oh, my God. Natasha, you can hear me?
I'm hearing you. I don't know why he's not hearing you.
Yeah. That's all right, folks. We're gonna get this right. The thing with the system is that when we're live, we're live. I know I'm hearing her there, but I can't. I'm not hearing Pam in my ears, and I don't know why.
You want me to come in and go
Pam,
out and come back in?
Take off your earphones. Let me see.
Take out your headphones.
Yeah, unplug it all together. Let's test.
Me? Can you hear me?
So the funny thing is, right, Pam? I could hear you from another phone in the church, but I can't hear you from my phone. I can hear Natasha. I have no idea. The devil is busy.
What kind of phone you have right there? An iPhone?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're live, Natasha. Just remember that.
I know. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful people. This is Miss Christopher, live and direct.
Okay, let me see what I can work out, Pam.
All right.
Let me try to check on my end. I can't hear them. Hold 1 second. There's a rare bug inside that caused this. Try clicking on this button to fix it. Hold on 1 second. Trying to fix this, okay? We're trying, people. Okay, Pam, say hello to me again.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness.
That's the iPhone business.
I tell you, man. Thank you, and good morning. Well, we finally got it fixed. Yes. So we're waiting. Well, I'm going to monitor Maxine as she come in. But I want to say good morning to everyone. It is really a beautiful day today. Today run was amazing. Thank Pastor Dave Allen for number one coming to the challenge and running with me every morning, and of course my coach, my wife, who made sure that I get out of the bed running late, but she kicked me out of the bed and said, listen, you got to run. You got to take care of yourself. Self-care is good. burning the calories, getting in shape. And then we have added to that just running for victims of gun violence, running to remember those who have lost their life. There were so many things to do. So we attach running, well, I attach running in the morning to a cause. So it's good to see everybody. Again, thank you, Pastor Dave Allen, for allowing us to run quickly into the church from the park to tape this. And Natasha, we thank you. Pam, where are you?
Pam,
you're out of view.
Pamela.
Pamela is out of view. So, and her mic is mute, but that's all right. We're going to try our best. So, good morning again to everyone. We are very much so thankful that we have Natasha Christopher. We have Pamela High, and we're trying to get Maxine on, and if she could make it, and if a phone allow her to come back on. But we have been talking about just working on just the story of gun violence, but the hidden, dangerous stories with mothers. It gives people another look. I'm frozen.
You keep breaking, going in and out.
I got the best Wi-Fi, man. What's up? Do I join your Wi-Fi here or what? Okay, all right. Hold on, people.
Pamela, you can't keep leaving.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I know. Hold 1 second.
You're live.
We have been doing this.
I know, but something was wrong with my phone.
Okay, we could hear you. You could hear me now?
Yeah.
You okay, cool. All right, good. So thank you. We're working out all of the kinks. This is I was hoping to have 4 of you on. Well, 4 of us together. We're gonna work it out as we go along. As Miss Maxine pops in, we're gonna pop her in. But I want to say we work out all our issues, I guess, technical difficulties, and now we are well on our way. So we have the moms, of course. It's a working day, so we're gonna keep it moving. We have Natasha on. We have Miss Pamela on. So say good morning, everybody. Natasha, how are you?
Good morning. I'm blessed.
Good.
Good morning.
You all right? Good. All right. So let me start with you, Miss Pam. One of the things that is so amazing, and I can't even fathom, like how you all get up every day, try to maintain as regular as life as possible. When you hear the news that you lost your child to gun violence, one is gun violence or stabbings, but they die, violently. But one is out too much. But to lose 2 sons, talk to me about like how you're making it.
I'm basically, good morning, everyone. How I make it is, if it wasn't for me being surrounded with so many beautiful mothers and my 2 daughters, my grandchildren that my oldest son had left me, they call me every day, video chat and everything, so they keep me up. And then I have my youngest daughter that'll just get on my nerves, and she won't get her own place. So she stays with me every day and bothers me every day. So she just keeps me on the go. And basically coming to my job is like, it keeps me busy. That I'm able to help, others that can't help themselves. So at that same given time, I'm blessed that I have the surroundings to keep myself in that state of mind, because losing 1 and then losing 2, and then it's like my heart is like, I get my better days, I get my good days, I have my worst days. I go into, holidays. But I have that support around me. If I didn't have that support, I don't know where my mentally challenged self will be right now.
Yeah. No, I think that definitely it's such a great joy to be able to even listen to someone who have gone through such devastating news, not only once but twice. So thank God for family. Thank God that He is keeping you. That is so important for us to hear. Um, so Natasha, we heard from Pam and Miss Maxine won't be able to join us today. We get on the next program when we could sort out the tech problems. Um, but as I shared your story, you were very open, and I think that it speaks to even Miss Pam too as well, that people don't realize that the mental trauma that it causes families when the loved ones die through gun violence. And you talk about dealing with mental. You had a beautiful life. You had raising three sons, and you never thought that one day that your 14-year-old that you would get a call that states that listen, that your 14-year-old son was shot in the streets of Brooklyn. Um, when you talk about that, you had three amazing boys, and then you start to shift the story in the description that you have to really deal with mental health issues, you have to deal with challenges, you have to deal with trauma. Um, First of all, talk about your son, and then I'll ask you, you and Pam to talk about the fact that when you could openly say that you have challenges, trauma and stress and mental illness and PTSD and all of those things. So talk to us about Akeal, and then what was the circumstances, and then we'll go into that.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Natasha Christopher. So 8 years ago, my 14-year-old son, Akeal Christopher, was gunned down in the streets of Bushwick. My son would then survive for 14 days and then died on his 15th birthday, July 10, 2012. Um, he was an amazing young man. He came from family that loved him. He was kind. And to receive that type of news, it destroys lives and communities. It didn't just destroy my life, it also destroyed my two sons' lives, which he had a brother, Rashawn, who was 10 at that time, Christopher, who was 5. So it wasn't easy, it wasn't easy trying to deal with that type of trauma. Um, for me, one of the hardest thing after Akeal died was being able to put aside that pain and still raise my two children. It was a challenging thing to do, but I was able to meet Pastor Gail, then Miss Maxine, who's like a mother to us, and we have a support group that we hold meeting once a month, and that helps me, right? Like I said, like you say, I deal with trauma. I was diagnosed with PTSD, and it's not easy. Every day it's a challenge, but I live to fight another day.
That's right.
Yeah, you sure live. And Miss Pam, you could probably relate to that, having lost two sons. Even I don't know if
Yeah.
the pain is the same or is compacted. I am not sure. I know there's another mother
My
who
yeah.
go ahead, Pam.
My son name is Jaquin English, and he was 17 years old, and he was gunned down in my building. And we only lived there for the past 6 to 8 months. So for me to even know anyone in this area, the word alone where I live was Graves Inn. So it was like in Coney Island, and my oldest son, he was 32 years old, that left me with my 3 grandchildren, which is Jermaine and Cassira, and my Gervonta. It's like a whole lot of challenges that we go through, and I try to keep my smile so everybody can
Right.
smile. So if you don't smile every day, to let them know we're good on the outside when we're smiling, but the pieces are broken inside. And I'm
Yeah.
broken up inside, mentally challenged, completely heartbroken that I don't get to see my son finish high school. I didn't get to see my son walk down that aisle. I didn't get to see his birthday is around the same birthday as mine. I'm November the 11th. He's November the 14th. I can make everybody laugh, but they be saying, how do you do it? And I say, I have to stand. I have to help others understand that we all go through this. And I never would have thought it would have been me, walking this path of being hurt so much inside, and just to know that families out here, and we're here to let them know that they're not alone.
And I know that true. That's true. Like, is any one of your cases solved, Miss Pam?
My my 17-year-old son, y'all point English. The guy's in the jail for 22 to life.
Right. And what about your other son?
My oldest son, upstate, it was a real complication because it was in Troy, New York. And basically, I didn't get any help or anything with that. It was like a struggle going back and forth. The only help that I had was my family, my circle that was able to do things, be by my side. That's the family.
Right.
But far as everything else, upstate, the guy, far as what I know, was around 50-something years old. My son was 32 years old. He stabbed my son real in the heart, and he bled internally in the alley and left him. And from then on, it's like the Troy police didn't, do but so much for me. That's why I say to myself is that we need a lot of resources that can help the families out here. So because upstate New York didn't give me no type of help.
Right. And that is to my point that I've been making even yesterday, that the way that gun violence is treated, the way that victims are treated in our communities is totally different. Natasha talked about the fact that she had a 14-year-old son. Of course, you mothers know that I'm dealing with a case with the family of Aaron Ashby in St. Thomas too as well. I know we always ask, and even yesterday, we keep on talking about the fact that it's hard to raise money for organizations in our community. Your sons are criminalized because they have been shot, and therefore the system also look at them as, listen, you are just another black number, you're just another black body. When you talk about all of the shootings that we see in New York and the upsurge of violence and the uptick, everyone is screaming like, oh my goodness, we run into the abyss. But for the mothers who have been through this, the violence have been up all the time, because losing your son, you can't put a percentage on that. You can't say that violence is up when you have lost two sons. When Natasha, when she lost her 14-year-old son. So whether you think that one person get killed or three people get killed, and everybody knows, oh my goodness, the world is caving in. No, this is what we're dealing with every single day in our communities. Cases that are unsolved because you don't have resources. Your son gets stabbed in an alleyway, and then the system is not coming to its aid. That is why we're bringing these things to highlight. These are pain that people. How many of you right now listening to this live that would have your child killed and not know that justice is being served? How do you feel? That leaves a hole in all of our hearts. I feel totally terrible, to just hear something like this. So Natasha, like, let's just talk about the like when you got word that your son died and you went into the hospital to see your son. Like, how were you treated? What did the detective say to you? I want people to get a back end look at what happens when our surviving family have to deal with their loved one when they die. Take me through that day.
Okay, so basically, I didn't get a phone call from the police when my son got shot. I got a phone call from his grandparents, right? So then when I arrived at the hospital, for me, I just wanted to know what was going on. A lot of family members were there. And I know something terrible had happened because the look at everybody's face. I didn't
Mm.
have a problem with the hospital because he was at Brookdale Hospital. He was there. Everybody treated me with kindness. I would say that, I came in contact with a doctor. Her name is Mary Baldorf. She did everything possible to save my son. My problem was with the police because, again, I said I was in the hospital for 14 days with my son. They came that same day when my son got shot while I was there, and they already had their minds made up about my son. They didn't even know me, they didn't know who my son was, but they already had their minds made up. Another black young man, right? So they already stereotyped him. Okay, basically, they wanted to know, asking me all these questions. Why was he outside so late? And who he was hanging with? I barely knew what was happening myself. So my thing was with them is, number one, my son is the victim. Number two, y'all get out of my face and leave me alone whilst I try to process what's happening to my son. So they already had their minds made up, right? And that's the same thing for the police officers and the detective. They stereotype young black men and they made up their mind. They made up their mind that my son was already in a gang before even having a discussion with me or doing any type of investigation. And
Mm-hmm.
and that is so wrong. But I thank God that I'm a strong black woman who then allowed them to get to me. Because when you met me, I was a hot mess, right? But I thank God that I was,
Yes, ma'am. We know that.
I,
Yes.
I thank no, but I really thank God that I'm strong, that I didn't let them tell me who my son was because I knew the young man that I raised. And I went to that police station after my son died on July 10th. I got angry, right? And I was going there and the detective was pretending that he wasn't there. He wouldn't come down. He wouldn't answer his phone. He wouldn't say nothing. And I said, I called one day. I went to the police station and I actually told them, number one, somebody's going to see me, else I'm going to blow up this whole police station. I think they thought this woman is crazy. I called his phone one more time and he was there and he came downstairs. I mean, afterwards, we became best friends because he realized that I'm not playing, I'm not going nowhere. This mother is not playing. And then he realized, like, I've never seen your son before. I've never seen your son before. I said, you could have never seen my son before, right? Because for me, I thought if I was doing all the right things, this would never happen to me. I thought, okay, I'll go to parent teacher conference. I'll make sure that he's not outside late at night and doing all the wrong things. I'm gonna be involved in his life, and bam, this happens. But these detectives, let me tell you something. Some of them are horrible because they already portray your child to being in a gang. And that is so wrong for parents who have experienced this type of trauma to also deal with that other trauma of your son being bashed and they're already made up their minds. And a lot of
Mm.
times people, because my son case is unsolved. If my son had blonde hair and blue eyes, his case would have done been solved.
So, but you turn around though that relationship with the police department, right? Because you
Yeah.
were persistent. You told them that you're not going anywhere. This one
No.
is not just another murder. You're
Yeah.
gonna get this thing fixed. And they have even put out videos now about your son, and you have two detectives that is dedicated to your case night and
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they realized that I wasn't going nowhere. They realized that this child came from a good family. And I think stop doing that because nobody is born bad, right? So
Hmm.
stop making up your minds about people's children and solve the cases. Nobody is born bad. And things happen in life. We don't know what goes on into nobody's life. And they already made up their mind. But I was determined that they're not going to just judge my son because you messed with the wrong woman.
And we
Tell
could
it.
see that too right now.
Yeah.
You can
So,
see
and
the you can
because
see the head movement.
Yeah,
it hurts,
and that is true.
people don't realize, right? And it takes a whole Pastor, what people fail to realize, it takes a whole team to keep me together. Okay, I had to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning just to to get myself together just to get on a video call. Because every time I wake up in the morning, people don't realize, every time I wake up, I always say to myself in my head, one of my children is missing, and that's such a hard thing to have to live with every single.
Stop right there. Stop right there. You get up every morning and you literally in a mental check and you say
Yeah.
one of your children they're missing.
Yes.
Every morning.
Every single day for the last 8 years, I do that mentally. Every time
Pam, you too as well. You get up every single day and say, "Listen, I'm missing 2 sons."
I get up every morning because I'm used to my son waking me up singing R. Kelly in the mornings, and that's my oldest son. And my youngest son always be at the head of the foot of my bed, talking about this is my bed. So I'm so used to when I get up in the morning, he's already at the edge of my bed. So when this happened to me, it's like I had a chair with my son's clothes and everything, with sneakers and hat and of all of him. Every time I got up in the morning, all I would see is him right there. I would never move that chair when I lived in Coney Island because they had me staying in this place where my son was killed in the building for 5 months before it was able to move.
I want to talk about that too. I got to get back. Hold that point, Natasha, but we got to talk about this. We can't let this point slip us. What people don't realize is that if your son, Pam, and I remember Dolene John, I think I talked about that. Their son died, in their home, in their building. Dexter Mercurius, brother, God bless you. He's one of the fathers that we did. His 15-year-old daughter, Shamel Mercurius, got killed in Flatbush Garden a couple of years ago. She was 15.
I remember.
And that family had to sleep in that same house. No resources to move that family out. How could you do that to people? How could our systems allow that to take place? You had to move back. You had to live in that building for 5 months before you moved. This should be an automatic help to families after they've been victimized, after they've done everything that they could have done. And then the son or the daughter gets shot on the streets of New York or St. Thomas or wherever you're listening from, or Chicago or Atlanta or the Caribbean. And then the trauma, the pain. Could you imagine if you don't have no support system around you?
No, there was no support system, no type of support system.
Do it in reverse, right? Do this in reverse.
Okay.
If Dolene was a white woman, would she still have been living there right after her son got murdered? No, it would have never happened. The way that they stereotype Black people is so wrong. They have already made up their minds who Pam, who Dolene's son was, who Pamela's son was, and the system is just so messed up again.
Especially when you're living in the projects.
Right. And we have said, and I think that it is true, that for nature, we had wanted that family. We had wanted that family in Flatbush Gardens, of the 15-year-old who got killed, Shamil Mercurius, and we were asking the management to move the family to another vacant unit, because you can't sweep up, and mop up the blood of your child, and then you have to turn off the lights and then go to sleep. Think about the torture. These are some of the hidden effects of gun violence that we don't look at in our communities, that we don't know. I am giving you a glimpse of these powerful and strong women who decided to share their life with us. And we are making it public because we want people to understand that when you're shooting up the place, when you're killing a 1-year-old, think about the families, think about what you're doing. I don't care. Gangsters is about saving life. Gangsters is about helping young people in the hood. If you want to be a gangster, that's what a gangster is about. But to kill and to have parents and mothers and children and sons, shifting their life forever because of some nonsense that you believe, because of your cowardly act because taking that gun and just discriminately shooting at our young kings and queens, this is madness. And here it is now that we have to now pick up the pieces of our lives. So if we can, if I would give both of you $1 million right now, and I would say to you, okay, help okay, let's leave that for now. How do you feel when you see like press conferences and people talking about people dying, and then you know full well that on the back end, that family is going to be left to themselves? What was your experience? If any one of your children had any type of press surrounding it, or people who came to your aid, how have they maintained their relationship, or what do you think that we should know that really happens to a family after all of the lights and the glamour is gone? I'll start with you, Pam, and then we'll go to Natasha.
Okay.
No, go to Natasha, then come back to me.
Okay. You in charge, so let's go to Natasha.
She's too much. No, but for me, I had to go out and be Akeal's voice, right? My son got some was able to get some press, but I still had to go out and be his voice. So I started volunteering with moms, the man action and every town for gun safety. And that gave me a different type of platform to put my son's homicide case out there. And for me, I was just going to go out there and be his voice and let people know what happened to my son. He was just not going to be just another Black man that got killed and nobody knew what happened to him. So,
Right.
and you so it's just basically hard. There's high profile cases and there's regular cases like me and Pamela and the rest of mothers who have come in contact with, where some of their cases, nobody even know that their child died. But for me, I had to be Akeal's voice. I'm still Akeal's voice today. And you know that with my younger son, I had to, he was in so much pain and I took that pain and anger and turned my son into an activist. And my son has traveled all across the world advocating since he was 5 years old against senseless gun violence. So people realize, for me, I do not wait and nobody to give me a voice. I'm Akeal's voice, and I'm going to make sure that the world knows what happened to my son. But I mean, we don't get that type of press that a high profile case would get. But you just have to be okay. At the end of the day, that's Pamela's son. That's Pamela kids, and that's my son, and I'm going to just be his voice and make sure the world continue to know what happened to my son. Because somebody being murdered, people like to say my son was murdered, right? Yes, he was murdered, but I say my son was executed. Because when you could put a bullet in the back of a 14-year-old boy's head, that's just not murder no more. That's called execution. So they executed my son. And I have to continue being his voice. And you also give me a platform to do that too. So, I'm going to speak and speak no more.
I hear you. Pam?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that when you hear all that's going on right now, our voices need to be heard, because these families need to understand that that's what we're here for. We never thought that we would be in this place. So the same thing I say from Natasha is that my voice started, basically, I was already in the community. I was at my son's PTAs. I was doing everything. I just never thought it would have been my son, my kid. I always stand on the side. I don't know what's this.
No, that's me. You go ahead.
Okay, I never thought that it would be mine. We all say that it shouldn't be our kids. That's why when it came down to my voice, I was already in the community. I was in a truck club. I was in the it was like motorcycle clubs, auto clubs. We did community service. We always helped all types of organizations. I did everything basically. I was a cheerleading coach. I did everything. It's like I was out there
Yeah.
before this even happened. And I went into Moms Demand Action, Not Another Child, Akeal Christopher, Incorporated, Pastor Gill. Maxine, Carl Loxley, Triumph. It's all organizations. All organizations. I stand by all. Like they said, Black Lives Matter is all lives matter to this situation of all our voices need to be heard and need to be said, that we need more resources out here. We need funding, like Pastor Gill needs a bus. You know, we
Akeal, you need a bus. You need
You need
That's
a
right.
bus because I take bus trains every day when it comes down to getting to where I need to stand for, and I stand for all. I don't
Right.
stand for just me and my two sons. I stand for all children matters, all
That's right.
family matters.
That's
But,
right, Pam. Pastor
but
Gill need transportation. The God
right?
Squad need the
We need
vehicle.
transportation, right? But for me, right, I had to step back and say I was doing big volunteer work with these big time organization, right? And I said to me, you know what? Community means everything to me, right? And I said, you know what? I'm gonna start volunteering with all this community based organizations, just like Pam said, like Not Another Child, the God Squad, Carlton.
Orisa.
You're right, God. That's another, not another child. Orisa, Carlton Loxley Bennett Foundation. That's Miss Maxine E. Lewis. Triumph Over Tragedy. That's Sandra Roger.
Rohan Levy Foundation.
And Levy
Mhm.
Foundations. And these are all community-based organizations that are giving back to these young people, right? Like people, when my okay, for
Where do we
instance,
go from here, Miss Carolyn Dixon?
Carolyn
where do we go
Dixon,
from
yeah.
where do we go from him? It's Carolyn Dixon. But for me, I can say that the village helped me raise my kids, because if it wasn't for Miss Magazine, you and Orisa, I could call on you guys and say that my kids, whilst I was struggling, grieving, that they needed school supplies, that they needed these things. And Miss Magazine, Orisa, and you guys would show up and make sure that they had everything to succeed, right? I have a 19-year-old who is working, he's in college, and I have my 13-year-old who's about to go to high school. So it takes a village to raise these young Black men. And
Na-
we keep saying Black Lives Matter, but Black lives have to start mattering to Black people.
It
Until
is.
until Black lives start mattering to Black people, we will continue to be in these type of predicaments.
and I wanna tell you that you're so right. All Black lives matter. All of
Oh,
the Black lives, and we need to start taking a look at that for sure. It also, it's tough to if you listen if you're tuning in. I want you to like this video and I want you to share it, because you're not gonna get this is not lamestream media. This is real.
this is real. I live with
I
your
want to tell you
Too
that
real.
you don't know, the half have never yet been told about what families go through with this violence that we have in our communities. Share the video, like the video. I know I did talk about $1 million, and it'll be impossible. So just so you know, I pay off my student loan, you also. I'm doing all right.
I have two of those.
Oh my goodness. So
Yes.
we can get towards $1 million now. So if you would had $1 million, both of you, how would you use that $1 million?
Me first, I want a community center. So I would put some of that money into my community center, because
Okay.
I would like to have young,
That
well, okay,
that
for me,
that you're talking about a 50 million budget,
oh,
definitely. But
well,
go ahead. No, it's good.
no, but
Dream, dream.
for me, I want to get young men off the street. And a lot of these young men need parenting, right? And give them the love that they need. But also, I would take some of that money and give it
Mhm.
back to my small community-based organization. I would give to Sandra, Miss Magazine. I'll give you Pastor Gail. I'll give Not Another Child. Where do we go from here? The Rohan Levy Foundation. But my thing is, I love helping young people. My son was all about giving, and that's what I do now with my nonprofit organization, the Akeal Christopher Community Center. Me and my son, my 13-year-old son, we raise money and we purchase school uniforms, we buy school supplies, we host
Simple
Christmas
stuff.
parties. So we're, just giving. It's all about me giving back to those who are less fortunate.
Yeah, and I think though, we have had a hard time raising funds though for
No,
these type of organizations.
we can't raise no money.
And and we don't come into this space trying to compare our organizations to any other organization, but we make comparison based on just what we see. So a news reporter called me yesterday and he was asking me about, what else would I like them to know? And I said that, listen, I want Facebook and all of these big corporations, Chase Bank, Citibank, these big organizations to look into the communities and find nonprofit organizations that's doing great work and give them funding. And they were like, I said, listen, every news department have investigative journalists.
Yes.
If you're concerned about the fact that, especially with New York City, that we're the financial capital of the world, you can take a journalist and you can bring them right now into Flatbush, into Brownsville, into Bushwick. You can bring them into Queens, and you can be on the ground in 5 minutes, and you can ask people who's doing work around gun violence. If you have an investigation journalist who will go to Nigeria and to some Caribbean island to look to see somebody who was killed, you can come, drive from Manhattan in an Uber, get an Uber, come over here to Brooklyn, and you can find 10 organizations right now that you could fund. Give them $1 million each and build capacity. And so they're asking, how could people help? Where is corporate America? It's not just about giving to the big organizations like March for Our Lives, or they raised like $5 million, and like when I turn around, it's
you can't even raise one.
No, we can't raise $1 million because your children, the way that we look at gun violence, we are fighting for your children, and your children life doesn't come. It's like they're criminal. They're penalized for dying in a sense, because you can't raise like money for urban gun violence operations. And people say, well, you need this, we don't have time to have grant writers. We work on some websites. Why don't you help us with websites? Bill, every mother who wants have a nonprofit organization, why don't you spend $7,000 and build them a website? Help to develop their organization, because they are the ones on the front lines. It's not just about one group. No one group can save us from the violence that we have. It takes all of us. Mm-hmm. All of us. And these moms, if we think that we're not going to include them in the solution to the violence, we are making a sad mistake. That's why I don't care. I'm rolling with them heavy. I'm rolling deep with them, because I know for sure that they are the voices and they have so many good ideas to help. Because Natasha and Miss Pam, if you allow your children to get bitter, they themselves will say, well, you know what? The system didn't care for me, didn't care for my mom, therefore I'm going to go to the life of crime. Isn't that true?
Yes. So, like I said, right, Pastor Gail, I had to work hard, especially at my youngest son. He would get up he would have nightmares, crying. He was angry. He wanted this person dead. And I had to take that negative and turn it into a positive. How was I going to help my son? I didn't want my son to end up dead. And like I said, he's an activist and he's doing the work. He's doing the work that most people won't even get up and do. My son was out there advocating at 5. And we have
exactly 5 years old.
Anything.
5 years old. Now, you had to work on your son not to become the person that he despised.
Yes.
Not to become a killer, not to become a shooter, not to sell drugs. And what people fail to realize is that what we have to do is that we have to make sure that we push the narrative forward. So Miss Pam, if you had $1 million, what would you do with that $1 million? Because I'm gonna raise $2 million right now.
Yes.
On this live feed. Somebody's gonna send me a check for $5 million. So you tell me now so that I can split up my money correctly.
Mine was basically almost similar to Natasha. I don't want to name. I don't want to have my own organization because
Okay.
I'd rather be with all, like a team effort, if we had called it organization of all, that we can go into all communities. Like we have this one, I wanted to invest into a building, clean it out, and we have different floors where we can have different resources, and we all can gather that we can do things. We can also have a daycare center for when the youth come in and they want to come and talk, or we can have crime prevention, like if they, phones and stuff like that, that we have the youth talking to other youth. I mean, it's so many things that I want to do. It's crazy, but it might not cover $1 million, but at least it'll cover.
Pastor Gail?
No, it makes sense. Sorry about that. I forget to take off the do not disturb on my phone. I'm on the road, so my apologies, Pam. But I did hear. It seemed like she's frozen. But I did hear that Pam said that she would take $1 million and she would have like these different section of these homes, not homes, but different section like these offices, to be able to support all of the nonprofits that like moms are working with. And so I want to thank you for that for sure. So Nat, if you can just talk to and give some encouragement to Pam dropped. If you can, sorry about that. If you can just talk to, and I'm really so the case in St. Thomas that I'm looking at. I want you to talk through to the mom, Miss Andrea Hamilton, just like what to expect, what she should be doing. Her son is 14. He died. He got shot in his back. Just talk to that family and just give them the best advice that I think you can give them, as they struggle to deal with the loss of their son and fight for justice.
Yes. So, to Miss Hamilton, what I would say to you is, don't allow anybody to stereotype your son. That's the first thing. Don't allow anybody. Nothing about this journey, this new journey, is going to be easy. For me, in order to continue living, I had to give the heavy lifting of this burden to God for me to continue living. Because let me tell you something. Everything about this new life she's going to be experiencing is going to be so hard. It's such a, you are left heartbroken. So she just has to surround herself with people who have empathy. She's not going to be looking for sympathy, right? She needs people who's going to have empathy, who are going to be there for her, who are going to be able to support her, give her the love she needs, the guidance. And let me tell you something. I went down on my knees and I asked God to give me grace, and he gave it to me. Sometimes I think he gave me too much of it, but he gave me the strength I need. Pam is back, but he gave me the strength.
Right.
He gave me the strength I need to continue living. And it's just like I said, just take it one day at a time. It's just one day at a time. And Pastor, I don't know Miss Hamilton. But I believe that you know the family. So I know that you're going to do everything possible to be there for them. And a lot of people just show up, right? Because people fail to realize everybody is right there with her right now, but she's going to need y'all after she buries her son. That's when the journey takes place. It's a long, long road.
A long road.
It's
a very long one. I guess I got knocked out for a little second, but just to come into what you're just saying is like, don't be there now. Be there for her after, before, because she's gonna need that. because at the end of the day, we
Mm-hmm.
lose a lot because everybody that we was surrounded with that day of the incident don't be there with us when it's time.
You're right. Oh, here there is someone from Baltimore. So it says tears of a mother cry with Miss Millie Brown here in Baltimore is changing life. I trust that we have a nationwide collaborative approach. So yeah, unfortunately for us, what do you call this club again?
I, for myself, I tell myself I belong to the one of the shittiest club in the world. It's a club that nobody wants to belong to. So if anybody tells you they want to belong to this club, I didn't wake up one day and say that I want to be in a club with mothers who have lost their children to gun violence. This is not the club that I wanted to belong to. But I have met some amazing women in this club. They are my sisters. You know, I can count on them for every and anything. They got
Mm.
my back. They got my family's back. And we support each other. Miss Maxine like to say we love upon each other, you know. So, but no, but we are there for each other. I can count on Pamela. I can count on Miss Maxine when I'm having a bad day. And I have
Mm.
many of those. People don't realize how this trauma is real. I have a psychotherapist and a psychiatrist that keeps me together. That
Mm.
keeps me together. I am not put together like this every morning. It's
But
by
we
the
no, we
by
thank you for coming looking good, and struggling and saying that, listen, I want to share my story. And you all have said to people that, listen, I'm challenged. I have these mental issues. I have because you were perfectly fine with your red hair and your green hair every single day. You were just doing your thing. When I met Natasha, she had like purple hair and green. I was saying, oh my Lord, what is going on? I
no.
said,
I tell people all the time I had my life was okay. I wouldn't say I had this great life. My life was okay. I was enjoying life, living life, and bam, life happens, right? You get this call that will change your whole entire life. I tell people, Pastor Gill, I never knew pain like this existed. I never knew pain like this. I thought I would only experience the worst pain I thought I would experience was childbearing, but I never knew pain like this existed until someone murdered my son.
um,
So
That's go. That's the same as me because my son was killed on Christmas Eve. So, and then then following my mother's birthday is right after. And then my mother also, she wasn't killed, God bless her soul. But my
God bless
mother,
them.
I buried my mother December. So it's like the months that go past, it's like we got birthdays that's in the same. Mine's is November, December, February. It's like, and then we go through the same thing. Like when Natasha's hurting, when Arisa is hurting, when Maxine, all the mothers are hurting. It's like all that pain that I'm already feeling. It's like I have to be that laugh, try to make them laugh, and by making them joke, try to do some jokes, even though I know they're in pain. So I try to keep that smile with my little dimples to the side, keep them cracking up like Natasha with her colorful hair, mine is with my funny jokes. But at that same given point, we have the same way she said the shitty club. I never called it that, but I call it in a different name, but we're not gonna say that on live. But at this point, like I said, see, I make everyone laugh because that's what I have to do to keep my sanity.
Yeah.
Because if I don't see you smiling or with a impression that you want to smile, give me a little grin or something. I gotta hear something from you that because your pain is my pain.
but
Yeah.
Pastor, isn't that amazing, right? Pam, two children murdered, right? And she still finds a way to smile through all that pain. And not many people could live through that, right? Because I say To all the people who are online listening, just close your eyes for a second, right? And if you have children, which one of them are you prepared to lose? And trust me, it's none of them.
Ooh. Mm.
Close your eyes and just think about that. Which one of your children are you prepared to lose? And trust me, it's none of them. None. I never want another parent to experience this type of pain. I don't wish this pain on my I don't know if I have enemies, but I don't wish this pain on my worst enemy. I wish this pain on no one. So we need people to get involved. Sometimes, like I tell people, you don't have to do what I do, but if you know an organization that is doing great work wherever you are, you can donate $5, $10, whatever. No amount is too small. You don't have to get up out there and go raise your fists in the air. But if you have a bank account, you can write a check and donate to those organizations to help them continue to save lives.
That's right.
Because we don't want this to happen to you, because we never thought it would be us.
Don't be like me.
We walk the streets just like everybody else. We go to school like everybody else. We go to work every day like everybody else. We do everything probably different ways, but we're still out there. I can't be in one place. Like Natasha could be there, I might be at the next place. I could be in Philadelphia, Natasha could be in Columbia, but we might go as one, but we go as an all, because we all do the same work.
Last year we had a meeting and with Reverend McBride from Live Free USA, and we were pushing for the federal government to give us $700 million to deal with gun violence in urban America.
How's that working out?
Working out. Then we had the whole thing about defunding the police and moving $1 billion from the police department. Here's my position. We have enough money in America not to tie up into politics with police department, to give the right resources to our communities that need it. Dr. King talked about the fact that budgets are a moral document.
Right.
You know, there is no reason of the amount of money that we spend on our military and the Pentagon that we can't pump $1 billion of federal funding into these urban America cities. We know where the shootings are. So you come to Brooklyn now, and the place is being lit up with gun violence. Every place that you have a high number of COVID deaths, you have a low number of your U.S. Census returns. And please fill out your U.S. Census.
I did mine.
We lost Pastor Gill.
No, he's still there.
I'm here. So, one second. This happened to me before. Hold on. I forget what I did, but I'm gonna try again. Hold 1 second, okay?
Yeah.
What did I do? Okay, your browser has lost connection with your camera. Refresh. 1 second.
You're back.
I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb.
Okay.
So, and anybody who's calling me right now,
stop calling.
Stop calling, because you're supposed to be watching my live feed. Stop calling me. If you're my friend, you're supposed to be on my live feed or know that I'm on every morning. So stop calling me.
Right.
So, what I was saying, throwing me off.
Right.
What was I saying, Dave? Nobody's listening.
You were talking about where you left off is what the resources, what you were trying to get with the police, the funding and the funding.
Yeah. So I was saying that the budget is a moral document. There's enough funding in America to deal with urban violence. I don't want to get in no conversation, no fight over and over again for 5 weeks about defund the police. My thing is fund peace. Take some money and really give real money to urban America to deal with the violence that we have. Don't only report about the fact that we have another shooting. We're highlighting, yes, we know we have a lot of shootings, because we have a group of mothers who have lost their children, and it's not going to change. It's not going to change their reality if you think that it's shooting is up by 200%. Who's
Right.
keeping track of that? We're not.
No.
We
No.
look at your son got killed. Your pain is up 100%. It's never dipping lower.
Nope.
We're not going to
Every
get
time,
caught up in
every
that.
time someone gets murdered, every time somebody gets murdered, we keep reliving that same trauma over and over and over. And when they say crime is down or crime is up, that doesn't help us. When are we going to do better?
That's right. So listen, man, it's been a full hour, and it's not even enough. And I know
It's not
that
enough.
everybody have a busy day today. Pam, it is so good to see you, with your lovely face. You're smiling.
She's
Um,
smiling.
I don't know what that shirt say. Arm with what? Faith?
Armed with
Arm with
love.
love.
Oh,
Oh, arm with love.
go
Okay,
ahead.
good.
Go ahead, Pam.
Yeah, good stuff.
Huh?
Thank you so much.
I said, I love it. I love your shirt.
Yeah, I
Thank
love
you.
it too. But thank both of you for coming on. I really appreciate the conversation, your insights for sharing with us. Like I said, we just started this one day running, and I was like, let's do something, and so I'm happy that the inspiration was there, and that my wife pushed me to get up and be active in the morning. So thank you all for and I'm glad. Like I tell people over and over again, I don't have to go look for people to talk to people. I don't have to go look for material, look for stories. I don't have to go look for anyone. These are people that we have been working with for years. Natasha, how long ago that we met in the basement of our church when we started our mother
I met-
support group?
For me,
What,
for me, I met you like eight. I met you 8 years ago. It's been
it,
8 years.
stop
Eight
right there.
years.
When we talk about mother support group, this is 8 years ago, people, that we have been working on this thing. Eight
But you
years.
was doing it long before I met you. So, but I met you 8 years ago.
I know. So, but we're gonna do it though. Again, you all are some amazing people. I'm so happy that again that you have allowed me to just have a glimpse into your life and allow everybody to see, and to hear from you. And so, thank you again for coming on. Thank you all.
Pastor, let me say this again to the people. Again,
Yes, go ahead.
you don't have to, you don't have to do what me and Pamela do or Pastor Gill do. But again, you could donate to these organizations. Like I said, you could donate to the 67th Precinct Clergy, aka God Squad. You could donate to Not Another Child. You could donate to Where Do We Go From Here, Rohan Levy Foundation. You could donate to Triumph Over Tragedy. You could donate to Not a Child, the Carlton Loxley Bennett Foundation, the Akeal Christopher Community Center. You could donate to these organizations. Let me tell you something. I tell people all the time, when I don't wait on nobody to give me anything, I knock on doors. So when somebody tell me no, I know there's somebody else will tell me yes.
Exactly.
Because I have to raise the money to continue doing what I need to do for these young people. And that's
That's
provide
right.
them with the supply that they need so they could be extraordinary like my two young sons, or even better. They're destined for greatness.
Yes, yes, they
So
are.
Google these organizations and make a donation. No amount is too small. Get involved. Do better. I mean, what about back in the days? The village raised these children. What happened to the village? Why are
I
we
have
acting,
something also I
why,
want to say, like,
why are we acting like people dying every single day is normal? This should not be normal. We have come, why are we accepting this? This is unacceptable.
just when we do marches, don't let it be just a march. Let it
Yes.
be that it's not about just a march. We need to stand in our communities that we are. I live all over the place. It's not like I'm in one borough. I'm in different boroughs, different communities, and basically everybody knows me. So I don't have to live in your community to come to your community. I don't have to come and do a march in your community. I'm going to be there regardless if I can or can't. I'm going to be there. just watch your back, because I'm going to be standing right there in your community.
Yeah. And
Well,
again,
thank you so much. I'm glad that
right,
you have my back.
right, Pastor
Yes.
Bill. And like I said, all you have to do is close your eyes and say and look and listen to what I said. Which one of your children are you prepared to lose? Just try to make a difference now.
Thank you so much for that. You guys are so passionate, so amazing. I want to thank both of you.
Thank you.
Have a blessed
Thank
day.
you.
We're always in contact, so we're gonna see each other, right?
Yes.
I gotta go check on Christopher. He's supposed to be online for early high school, and
All
none
right,
of,
go ahead. Thank
all
you,
right.
Pam, for coming on. Get back to work. Get back to your son. Take good
And,
care.
and Miss Hamilton, I'm sending you. Is Miss Hamilton Miss Hamilton?
Hamilton.
I'm sending you peace and blessings. And if you need me, Pastor Girl gonna buy me a plane ticket, and I'm coming to stand by your side.
That's right. We're gonna bring all the
I
mothers
was
down
about
to
to
St.
say the same
Thomas.
thing. The God Squad. Armed with love.
All right,
Take
love
good
you
care,
guys.
everybody. All right, take
Love
care.
you.
Take care. Thank you so much. So yeah. I tell you. How does this? 1 second. Let me remove this. Help me here. Okay. All right. So yes, everybody. Um, it's amazing to really hear from that perspective of these moms, what they go through, how they go through it, how they live, the pain, the suffering. It's amazing to see the suffering that's in our community, man. Um, not every community goes through this. Not every community goes through this at this level. There's some cases of people who have been dying from opioid. The opioid epidemic have been treated differently than the crack epidemic. It is looked like, or it is featured as a as a mental health or health issue. But crack cocaine, gun violence is a health issue. On this issue of gun violence, it is tearing our communities apart. More so, when we talk about our community, we're not just talking in a random situation. We're talking about it is tearing families apart, families that we know, that we love, that we cherish. Um, I am not going to try to raise money on this platform. I'm going to try to do it in a different way. Like really, I mean, if you like a great writer, you have connection. Let's connect and let's make this possible. Um, but we have to work to do more. And if I can, get up and come and run in the park on Thursday, we're gonna be in Lincoln Terrace Park on Thursday. Lincoln Terrace Park. We're gonna be in the park in the morning for the run, and then in the evening we're gonna be there too as well to do some outreach in community. There was a young man, the McLeod, young 27-year-old who was killed in the park, and we're going back to memorialize, to remember him, and also to bring people awareness that even in a place like a park where you have people who are running, those people, people get killed. So join us tomorrow morning in the St. John Recreational Park from 6:30 to 7:50, I guess. Um, and join us as we come to run, as we come to highlight the plight of our communities. If you follow me on Facebook or my social media, please read the article that was released today. There are two brand new stories. We're doing something with PBS today. We want to keep this in the forefront. We want the prophetic voices and those of us who lead from a standpoint of faith, lead the issue of gun violence tonight at 7 p.m. On WSDA in the Virgin Islands, 1340 a.m. or online You could hear my show tonight at 7 p.m. in the Virgin Islands. Tonight, I'm interviewing Senator Jackson, who lost his dad in 1982, and his case is still unsolved even today. So tonight at 7 p.m. on my show in the Virgin Islands, we're going to be talking about we're talking with Senator Jackson, talking about the bill in which we were working to create the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. And so tonight you're going to hear about the bill. We're going to lay to rest some of the issues that's in the bill, because we believe that the Virgin Islands is too small, has too much of potential to be able to be taken by the storms of gun violence. We're VI strong. We're asking on, again, people from the Virgin Islands who are all over to not allow the death of a 14-year-old on the island, Aaron Ashby and his cousin, Ricky Ashby, to go unsolved, to go unnoticed, to go unanswered. If there is, this is the first case in the Virgin Islands that I'm personally involved with, that I'm getting our clergy council involved with from Brooklyn. I'm getting Chicago involved with it. I'm getting Pastor Charles Harrison from Indiana involved. I'm getting Reverend Jeffrey Brown from Boston to be involved. I'm getting Pastor Tim Jones from Florida to be involved. I'm getting Pastor Israel Steinmetz from San Antonio, Texas to be involved. I'm getting all of my colleagues and friends as faith leaders to get involved. That, again, in the American paradise, you can't have a 14-year-old who was shot and killed, and we can't bring that case to a resolution. That will change the dynamics of our country forever if we allow, in cold murder in the American paradise, a 14-year-old along with his cousin, 27-year-old, doing what any one of us would do. That I grew up in Tutu. I grew up in that project. I grew up Raz Valley, Tonki, all of those, the different projects was coming together and playing basketball in the summer. I played in tournaments right up in Tutu. I'm from Building 8. I'm from Building 8 in Tutu, straight out of Tutu. That's where I grew up, in poverty. So that 14-year-old boy could have been me, because I grew up right in that particular area. That's where we used to run out from school, going on to Joseph Gomez Elementary School. We would run down, use the shortcut, come around, hit the basketball court right here, go up to Building 13, and, Building 21. There's so many different buildings, then run back up through the shortcut, head up to, I think it was Building 4. What was that building? I can't remember. Building 2, I think it is. The shortcut, go right up there and play. I'm from Building 8. I'm from Building 8. And if you from Tutu, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to break the code down for you. If you're listening and you from the Virgin Islands and you say that you from Tutu, you from Tonki, we tell you where we're from based on our building. So when I go into projects, I understand. I grew up in the projects. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I grew up in the projects, right up into the same place where the 14-year-old boy was killed. If we allow this case to go unanswered, without putting the full resources, without putting the right passion and the will in it, we can't allow this to happen. I love my island. Our islands are safe. Then Taurus is not the one who is being killed. Unfortunately, what happened when you have these young local black boys being killed? I'm getting ready to get thrown out of this church, right? When you got these young black boys being killed and it goes unanswered, I'm going to work. I'm going to fight for justice for Aaron, justice for Aaron, justice for Aaron. We're going to make sure that this 14-year-old boy life is not going in vain. God bless all of you. Trust and pray that you is going to have a wonderful day today. Thank you so much, Pastor Dave Allen and the fine folks here at AME Bethel, for allowing us to just run in the park and come here real quickly to do this live today. We really appreciate everyone. All right, everybody, take good care. And we'll see you again tomorrow, 6:45. Come and run with us in St. John Rec Park. If you can't run, you can walk. If you can't walk, you can crawl. If you don't want to do anything else, you can just stand there and look good. But join us, all right? Take good care, everybody. Peace out. Blessings to all.